Hey guys, it's Daniel's son. Welcome back to the channel, and today is the day we are putting the engine back in on this 2002 Audi TT. So we got a lot to do. Now, before we get into the engine, I need to give you guys a major update. As you can see, I'm the one holding the camera right now, and that is because Logan had to go back home and he is not coming back. He was the camera guy and the video editor for the channel, and for personal reasons, he had to go back home, which I completely understand, but the channel took a major hit. He really helped the channel kind of jump to the next step as far as quality and just entertainment in general. He had really good ideas and all that stuff, but unfortunately he made a big sacrifice just to come out here and help me out, but in the end it just didn't work out and he had to go back home. Now, I can't thank him enough. Thank you so much, Logan, for helping out the channel. And if you guys want, go in the comment section, give him a thank you and stuff like that, because I really appreciate all the help. Now, as long as you're down there, if you want to drop a like and maybe sub, I would really appreciate it. But we need to continue, and this car needs to get done. So let's get back to it. Now let's see some of the new parts. Now on this table, I have some of the old stuff that I've already shown you, like the clutch and the sensors and stuff like that. But we also have the new parts right here, which are these fender liners, which are kind of those cheap $20 fender liners, like injection molds. I think it's one company making them all, because they all look the same and they all cost the same. I don't know. They're very cheaply made, but it's better than having nothing, just to protect those intercoolers. I also have the timing belt cover, which was extremely hard to find, especially this piece right here, which is the centerpiece. But I did find them and they were not cheap, unfortunately. Over here, we have the splash shield that goes basically in hand with those fender liners. They also have these internal pieces that go in there as well. It was an entire kit. I believe it also has the hardware. I'm not 100% sure. So that's going to be nice. Now it looks like it had a rough flight, because it looks like it came through airmail, and it had a rough flight because it's all bent and messed up. We're going to open it and see how bad it is. And then over here we have the clutch slave. We have the new AC compressor, which, as you guys know from the previous video, that broke. So, and just some miscellaneous things, stuff that I forgot to buy in the first round and I remembered. So yeah, I think we are ready to start putting some parts on this engine and getting it ready to get it back on the car. And there is a bird chirping. I can't find it. I've been trying to get it out of the shop because it just wants to make noise, and I think I'm gonna have to let him. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Now also I'm going to replace these old fuel lines. They are like cracked and rotted. They are disgusting. They're gone. This is going to be a fuel leak. Now I got some new fuel lines, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. Now let's go ahead and start with the AC compressor. We're gonna check to see how much oil it's already in it, and just to see if they even put any in it. Also to see how much, so we can add more later. So it looks like we have about 4 ounces, or about 100 milliliters. We are going to actually use something a little bit different that has some dye in it. Now I put 4 ounces of refrigerant oil in it. It takes a total of 8, and this refrigerant has dye in it. Now I still have to flush the lines in the car just to get all that old oil out, but when we refill the AC with the refrigerant, we're also going to add those last 4 ounces of oil, just so the system has the appropriate amount so it doesn't burn up the AC compressor. I really want to see how it looks with the timing belt covers. So let's see if it fits. Now, I decided to test fit a few things off camera, and it's a good thing I did because I just noticed that this cover right here is not the right one for this car. I ordered it for an A4 because that's the only one that I could find, and the A4 obviously being installed longitudinally instead of transverse like this one, the mount's different. Well, actually it doesn't have a mount in the front. This one does. So because it has a mount in the front, there's one of the mounting sides of the mount goes right through here, which this covers up when you install it. So we're gonna have to cut that out, and we're gonna do it as closely to the mount as possible so we still have that sealing effect, and hopefully it works. Okay, so this is how it looks now. Let's see. Look at that. That actually turned out really, really well. It has a small gap, but that is good enough. Actually, I'm just gonna say that's perfect. I'm happy with that. There's no complaints here. But let's take a look at the transmission. Luckily, we don't have much to do here. I also pressure washed it, so it's clean, and we don't have to get all dirty working on it, and also it's just nice. So the two major things that we need to address is the shifter bushings here on the shifting linkage and the release bearing. Now, I did get a kit from a company called Diesel Geek. I'm gonna try those out and see how they work, and then we just gotta replace the release bearing slash slave cylinder, which is probably one of the worst that I've ever seen. This thing was about to grenade, and I'll show you here. Now look at this. So a little bit of play. But look at that. That thing was about to completely fail and destroy everything. Oh my goodness. So now we are ready to make the engine with the transmission. Now I still have to do the flywheel and the clutch. We're gonna put that on after we remove the engine from the engine stand. And yes, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but after buying the AC compressor, I didn't really have any money to buy another one. So I decided to just keep the one that I have. I'm gonna put that on and it'll be fine. It'll be completely fine. Now that we have the engine on the table, it makes it a lot easier to work on it. Now, it doesn't seem like we have much room to put the transmission on there, so I'm gonna have to remove this piece, but we're also gonna remove the adapter, so we're able to put the flywheel and the clutch on there. Now, these cables, I trust them with a transmission or maybe a small engine, but I don't trust them with both together. So I'm gonna have to find another way to be able to hoist this engine up once the transmission and the front diff is installed. So yeah, I don't really trust those that much. They're good. They can lift an engine, but small engine. That's about as much as I can trust them. They seem to be pretty strong, but nah. I almost forgot to replace the rear main seal, so we're going to take care of that. And also, we got new bolts for the flywheel. Please do not fall off the table. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that real quick. Okay, we got that rear main seal done. That was a very easy install, especially because of this little disc right here, which is kind of a guide, help you not roll the seal. Okay, let's see how we're gonna do this one. Well, I ran into a little bit of a roadblock. I ordered the wrong clutch. Now, this one over here, it is 9 inches. And then the one over here is about 9.5. Now, I looked them up again, and I did find that there's a 9.5 option. I believe it's because this one being a 225, it used a bigger clutch just because it needed more surface area. But that's just an assumption. But you know what? It's not an assumption. This is the wrong clutch. And now I need to order a new one. So I need to figure out if I can return this one or probably just dump it off on Marketplace or something like that. But I've been running into issues like this with this engine. The gasket kit was one. I didn't have all the gaskets, so I had to reuse some of them. Luckily, they were just steel gaskets, which I feel a little bit more comfortable reusing. But yeah, there's like 3 different engines for these years, and they're all a little bit different. So yeah, I guess we'll end the weekend early and come back when the new clutch is here. So we finally got the new clutch in, so let's go ahead and install it and be done with this part. So we're finally ready to put the transmission on the engine, which I'm really excited about this part. Oops, and I almost forgot. The directions said a little bit of grease on the bearing surface, just a little bit. So the transmission's already on, and it took me way longer than I'm going to admit on camera. It's a pain in the butt, but it's all ready to basically put it back in the car. Now, the problem that I'm running into is actually finding a way on how to pick up this engine where it's nice and level, so we can just set it in like the factory would have when they were assembling these cars. And this is what I've come up with so far. Some straps, and yeah, it's not working. So I just gotta keep trying until that works out. But yeah, I'm gonna drop this engine, aren't I? So I actually forgot this little guy. I need to put this on before I continue. So it's in. Now we carefully walk it in. A little bit here, a little bit over there. But we are ready to put the engine back in the car. Now that I put the differential in there, it really helps with keeping the engine level. So we got it all set up for the engine to go up, turn this way, so we can, well, actually that way, so we can go in, because this actually is the back of the engine that's gonna go towards the firewall. So let's see if I don't drop this. Okay, so we are up to this point. Now off camera, I did a bunch of work because I wanted to concentrate, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff to plug in that I didn't remember, bolts and stuff like that. I had to look through my old videos just to make sure I could assemble it correctly. Plus this whole disaster with the vacuum lines, they had it all plugged in incorrectly, but I was able to figure it out and I fixed it. Now, I think we are ready to give it a start, just to make sure that everything is good before I put the front clip on it. So, you know, front core support, radiator, all that stuff. So I want to make sure that everything is good. You know, we still have to check for coolant leaks later, but that's just going to be, what, 2, 3, 4 points up here in the front. Not a big deal. We don't have to remove the engine. So let's go ahead and give it a start and see what it does. You know, there's always that first startup. It makes you so nervous after doing so much work like this. Okay, So let's go ahead. Okay, we got the fuel pump. I guess I should prime that a little bit. Okay, I think the fuel pump is primed, so let's go ahead. Okay, clutch in. Key on. Woo! Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, perfect. Oh man, and it's quiet. I'll give it a little bit of gas. Maybe a bad idea, but. Wow, it doesn't tick anymore. Doesn't have that exhaust tick anymore. Oh, still check engine light. Okay, well, I cleared the faults just to see what would come back. But obviously we don't have the whole front end on the car, so it's definitely gonna have a check engine light, so. Okay, well, let's see. Let's take a quick peek up front before it starts to overheat. Everything looks good. No leaks. A little bit of a hesitation. I call this a success. Yeah. Well, let me turn it off and let's get back to work and put this thing back together. There will be no test drive today. When I was filling up the coolant, I actually used a vacuum system to pull vacuum in the coolant system to pull the coolant in so it doesn't have any air bubbles. Now I noticed that it wouldn't pull vacuum. There was an air leak and I found it. Turned out to be the housing on the side here is a plastic housing, and I noticed that the seals that I used from the kit that I got weren't really the right size, but I thought, okay, let me try it. It's right there on the side. I can replace it if it's a problem. So, okay. So I went ahead and put the old seal back in to see if maybe that would fix it and stop the issue, and it didn't. So I went ahead and filled it up with coolant just to see if maybe it was leaking from another area. It wasn't leaking from there. So nope, it's definitely leaking from that plastic housing. But now, you know, it's a pretty big leak. I don't know if you guys can see, but the floor is full. I had to put a bucket underneath because it's probably gonna leak all the coolant out eventually. Now, something that I didn't notice was there's another coolant leak right where the thermostat housing is for the same exact issue. I don't have time to get into it right now. And the reason I say I failed on this video is because I was hoping to get this car done this weekend because I got family coming here next week, and it would have been nice to have another car. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it done. And this really sucks because I've been wanting to drive this car and it sounds so good now without that ticking noise. I am really, really bummed out. So now this week I got to spend the whole time hunting down those two housings and then replace them and see if I still got time to finish the car before that. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, I did not put the plastics underneath the undersheet and the wheel wells and stuff like that. The reason is for leaks. So if I had any leaks, I want to be able to see them so it doesn't coat my brand new undersheet and all that stuff. So after I test drive it and make sure the car is perfect, then I'll go ahead, bring it in and put the undersheets back on there. But I will not be doing that in this video. But then again, I will not be driving the car in this video. Dude, I am so bummed out. I don't even want to look at it anymore. So I'm going to wrap up the video right here. Not the satisfying ending that we were looking for, but it is what it is. Now, with that said, for next week, wish me luck, and I will catch you on the next video.